From Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. A severe weather update starts right now.
Strong tornadoes and particularly intense, damaging straight-line winds will become possible tomorrow into tomorrow night across much of West Alabama, extending across all of our area as we get into early Thursday morning. Good Tuesday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson. We have a level 4 out of 5 severe weather risk in place for much of the Deep South, looking ahead to tomorrow into tomorrow night. It's going to be a time when we all have got to have a way to get urgent weather warnings in the next 36 to 48 hours as this event unfolds. Could have a few strong EF2 plus type tornadoes in addition to particularly intense, damaging straight line winds that could cause significant power outages across much of the Deep South. Before we get there, let me show you where this system is now. Big area of low pressure situated across the nation's heartland. You can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere here with the rain and storms around that. Trailing cold front has prompted a level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk for the southern Great Plains. Tonight, storms already firing up across Kansas where a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. Tomorrow, the whole system shifts to the east and we have a level 4 out of 5 severe weather risk in place for much of Louisiana, Mississippi, and West Alabama, and also southeastern Arkansas. Significant tornadoes will be possible in this red level 4 risk zone and also in the level 3 risk zone that basically includes nearly all of Alabama, all of northwest Florida, nearly all of Louisiana, and a big chunk of Arkansas and all of Mississippi. So we all have a severe weather risk as we go into Wednesday and really extending into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. This categorical outlook that you see here can be broken down into different hazards. And so let's kind of break it down first looking at the tornado probabilities. And unlike the last few severe weather events, this time we have this rare 15% tornado probability zone. What does that mean? It means that the tornado risk for any given spot within 25 miles of a given point in this big expansive red zone is 15 times higher than a normal blue sky weather day. And that's very significant. That's why we have this level 4 risk in place. In addition, damaging straight line winds going to be a concern across a big swath of the Deep South. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Northwest Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee, all have this significant damaging wind risk as we get into Wednesday and really extending into Wednesday night. Don't really think that large hail is going to be that big of a concern, but some spots across the region may have large hail. In addition to the tornado risk, there is also this hatched area called the significant tornado risk zone, and that's where the Storm Prediction Center has included our entire local area. Significant tornadoes mean EF2 ranked plus. In other words, these big, potentially long-track tornadoes will be possible on Wednesday into Wednesday night across much of the Deep South. I think across our area, it's going to be Wednesday night. In addition to the significant tornado risk, we also note there's this significant damaging wind risk zone in place for nearly all of our area as well. And that really extends up into areas like Tennessee as well. So damaging winds and tornadoes going to be the main concerns with this severe weather potential as we get into Wednesday and Wednesday night. So again, there's your tornado risk. And this is really centered across southeast Mississippi and west Alabama in through here where we have the highest tornado probabilities as we get into Wednesday into Wednesday night. Could have a few supercells out ahead of the main batch of thunderstorms, main line of thunderstorms that's going to move through tomorrow night. And that's when the tornado risk may be maximized, basically from 6 p.m. Onward tomorrow. And that's why we have this level 4 risk in place. Significant tornadoes and damaging winds going to be possible. And again, let me stress, does not matter at all whether you're in the orange level 3 zone or the red level 4 risk zone. Don't get so caught up in this orange and red, and even if we go high risk tomorrow, level 5 risk, we all have a severe weather risk in the overnight hours of Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. So please have a way to get urgent weather warnings before you go to sleep tomorrow night. So again, a level 4 risk, and here's the timing on this. probably a bit earlier in the evening across West Alabama, and then extending into the overnight hours for places near the I-65 and US Highway 84 corridor, back down really to the I-10 corridor in Mobile and Baldwin County, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. early Thursday morning. And then really from midnight to 6 a.m. over here in south central Alabama, southeast Alabama, and also parts of Okaloosa and Walton counties, probably midnight to 6 a.m. going to be the core risk. And I should mention as well, this level 4 risk zone does include areas to our north like Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, Marion, Livingston, Butler, Linden, Camden, Selma, Centerville, Fayette, Jasper, Hamilton. So a big chunk of West Alabama is also involved in this higher risk zone. So not every day that we can say this, we have an elevated tornado risk. Again, significant tornadoes going to be possible, greatest threat over West Alabama locally, and unlike the last few severe weather events, the damaging straight line wind risk is just as significant. So these are your two primary hazards, and I do think that we probably will have some power outages tomorrow night extending into Thursday. So it can't be stressed enough. You got to have a way to charge those batteries tomorrow ahead of the severe weather potential tomorrow night. Charge the iPads, the iPhones, the tablets, the backup batteries, all that good stuff. Charge it tomorrow ahead of the risks setting up tomorrow night. So let's kind of get in there and break this down. This is off of the 48-hour high-res rapid refresh model. Again, a level 4 risk. And you can see big batch of storms. This is valid tomorrow afternoon around 6 o'clock. Line of storms approaching our area, could have supercell storms out ahead of the main batch of storms. And I think that this line of storms, unlike the last few lines of storms that we've had over the last few weeks, this could be particularly intense with wind gusts as high as 70 and 80 miles per hour, trees coming down, power lines coming down. That will be a concern in addition to embedded tornadoes. And let me tell you something, these are going to be fast moving tornadoes. I'm talking, 40, 50 mile per hour movement on these tornadoes. They are not going to waste any time. Any tornadoes that develop along this QLCS or quasi-linear convective system, better known as a squall line, these things are going to be moving very, very quickly off to the northeast. Here's the local view. And again, tomorrow afternoon should be in good shape until we get to around 5 and 6 o'clock. That's when storms will probably fire up near the Alabama-Mississippi state line. Some of those could be producing tornadoes that move very quickly to the northeast. And again, main line of storms approaching West Alabama at 9 and 10 o'clock tomorrow night. As this advances eastward, we could have wind damage associated with this main batch of thunderstorms crossing our area. That look is valid tomorrow night at midnight. Damaging straight line winds, embedded tornadoes going to be the main concerns, power outages possible. And then at 3 a.m., hopefully by 3 and 4 a.m., I'll be able to give our area the all clear. The risk at that point would be ongoing across southeast Alabama and the Florida Panhandle in areas near Panama City. Drilling down and kind of getting into the data here, there will be plenty of moisture tomorrow night for these storms to work with. In fact, when you step outside in the morning, it's not going to feel that terribly humid. This look is valid at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Dew point temperature is going to be in the mid-60s. But then watch what happens. When I put this map into motion, here's your time up here. When we get to, say, 9 and 10 o'clock, that air, when you step outside tomorrow night ahead of these storms, the air is going to feel very moist, very supportive for the potential for severe weather, with dew point temperatures likely to be up around 70 degrees down here near the Alabama and northwest Florida beaches. Same thing farther inland. So really across our region, plenty of moisture for these storms to work with. Here's perhaps the parameter that I'm most concerned about with this event setting up for tomorrow night. That these are winds at about 5,000 feet off the ground, and I tell you what, these are screamers. We're talking a low-level jet in through here at 70 and 80 miles per hour. And again, that's not exactly surface winds. What we will see here on the surface of the earth necessarily could happen, but this is at the 5,000 feet mark, the 850 millibar height as it's known. These are just screaming. I mean, this is really going to end up being most likely an event where we have widespread damaging winds with embedded tornadoes. Just not really what you want to see in a severe weather risk. And also, these storms are going to have plenty of fuel to work with. This is a look at the surface-based CAPE, not to be confused with the overall most unstable CAPE. This is surface-based, and so this is kind of what we look at to see just how much fuel these storms have to work with. And with numbers like this, in excess of 1,000 joules per kilogram, that's plenty of fuel for the storms to work with as they cross from west to east across our area. Again, instability going to be maximized down here near the coast, while the greater wind probabilities or shear probabilities will be a bit farther inland. But again, there's enough overlap for this to be a substantial severe weather risk across our region and in areas to our north. Another thing to keep in mind, tomorrow is going to be a very windy day, and I'm talking ahead of the storms, long before the storms get here. It's going to be breezy, it's going to be windy, whatever you want to call it, downright gusty winds, blustery. You insert the wind adjective you want to there, because again, these winds are going to be screaming tomorrow out of the south. We note that a high wind warning is in effect back in Louisiana tomorrow. Wind advisory for our local area. Again, wind gusts as high as 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour tomorrow during the day ahead of the big storms moving through tomorrow night. There's that wind advisory, and at this point, the whole state, Alabama, all of Mississippi, included in a wind advisory. There's the high wind warning in effect for much of southern Louisiana. Again, it's going to be screaming tomorrow with gusty winds out of the south. 30, 40, maybe even 50 mile per hour wind gusts not out of the question. And that includes our entire local area. Gusty winds likely tomorrow long before the storms arrive from the west. In terms of total rain amounts, how much rain are we expecting with this system? 1 to 2 inches of rain likely across the region. In fact, with this latest QPF, quantitative precipitation forecast update, looking like most of us going to get 2 inches of rain. And keep in mind, there will be isolated higher amounts. So some spots may get 3 and 4 inches of rain. Flash flooding could become a concern if storms start to train over the same areas. I really think, though, the main concerns will be tornadoes and damaging straight line winds tomorrow. A quick preview of the 7-day forecast. Again, storms likely tomorrow night into Thursday morning, and then on Friday we get a break ahead of more storms this weekend, and then another break on Sunday into Monday before more storms in the middle part of next week. Let's focus on this event at hand on Wednesday night into Thursday, and then we'll start honing in on Saturday, and then our next event on Tuesday. So 'tis the season, right? We are in the heart of our primary severe weather season. Just a few closing thoughts for you. I realize that, this has been an active month of March. I think we're up to like 4 tornado warning days so far in the month of March. And tomorrow could be the 5th. And so, that's a lot. I mean, just to be frank, I realize it's inconvenient, especially if you've got young kids trying to get in a tornado safe place. But tomorrow night is going to be one of these nights where when we're live on Facebook covering these tornado warnings, when we tell you to get sheltered, all right? Same thing with severe thunderstorm warnings. I know that in the summertime we get these severe thunderstorm warnings a dime a dozen, but these tomorrow are going to mean business, all right? People get so caught up in the whole tornado versus damaging wind deal, and to be frank, sometimes damaging straight line winds can be just as bad as tornado damage. And so if you get a severe thunderstorm warning tomorrow, heed it. Take it seriously. Treat it like a tornado warning. And you have my word. We will be with you every step of the way in that Red Zone Weather app. Longtime viewers and listeners know we are posting constant updates when we're not on Facebook Live. And if we get a tornado warning, and probably even tomorrow if we get a severe thunderstorm warning that's particularly intense, we will come on Facebook Live and stay on Facebook Live until the threat has passed our area to the east. That I can tell you with certainty. So again, a level 4 risk. Next video going to be posted in the morning at 7:15 a.m. here on Facebook. Latest information also will be available throughout the night and into the morning in the Red Zone Weather app. If you have specific questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to get to those in just a little bit. Get some rest tonight. I'm going to try to do the same thing, and then we'll come back together tomorrow night as this squall line moves across our area. Tornadoes and damaging winds going to be the main concerns. I do hope you have a wonderful Tuesday evening. I will see you soon.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.